Kimball International made a couple of announcements regarding its future. More on that. Plus, Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner joins me for tonight's edition of Monday with the Mayor, and Vince Ackerman and Melissa Hayfley join host Bill Potter to talk about an upcoming special event on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with a pair of ongoing investigations. We begin in Daviess County with the investigation into a Louisville man's death at the Glendale Fish and Wildlife area over the weekend. The body of 25-year-old Jacob Duncan was found by emergency personnel just before 9 o'clock Saturday morning at Dogwood Lake. Indiana conservation officers say Duncan, along with 51-year-old Frank Ruffalo of Mount Washington, Kentucky, had been camping in the Glendale campground area. Authorities say the two were co-workers, and they, along with other friends, had planned to stay for about a week. Now, authorities say alcohol was believed to be a factor in the incident, and the boat that they were riding in has been taken for inspection and testing. Conservation Officer Mike Kellner says charges could be filed against Ruffalo pending results of blood tests.
As with the drunk driving laws with motor vehicles, so goes drunk driving laws with boat operations. So once we have the results from the blood analysis, we will look at the possibility of filing charges that pertain to operating a watercraft while impaired.
Now, this all started when conservation officers say Ruffalo and Duncan decided to take a boat ride after sunset Friday evening. As they went through a bay area adjacent to the campground, their boat began to take on water and sank. Both men were left in water about 10 feet deep. Ruffalo had been operating the boat and was able to hold on to a cooler to stay afloat. Ruffalo and Duncan stayed in communication for a short time, but authorities say they soon lost contact with each other. A nearby camper launched his boat after hearing calls for help. Ruffalo was rescued, but Duncan was not found. Divers with the Daviess County Sheriff's Department were called to the scene just after 9:30 that night. They found the boat and marked the spot as the evening went on. Ruffalo was taken to Daviess Community Hospital, where he was treated and released for hypothermia. The Daviess County Sheriff's Department, Indiana State Police, the Harrison Township Volunteer Fire Department, Southwest Medical EMS, and the Daviess County Coroner's Office all assisted Indiana conservation officers. Then moving to Martin County, Indiana State Police are continuing their look into a weekend burglary at a Shoals car dealership. Early Saturday morning, Trooper Jared Lentz was called to Bailey Brothers Used Cars along 2nd Street after employees found that someone had broken into the sales office. Lentz found that 3 sets of keys were taken out of the office overnight. Police say those keys were to a 1994 Jeep Cherokee, a 1995 Jeep Cherokee, and a 2009 BMW 335i. The BMW was taken off of the property while the 1994 Cherokee did not move. The 1995 Cherokee had been moved across the street from the dealer's service center, according to police. Lentz then entered the BMW as stolen into the state computer database. The entry found that the Orange County Sheriff's Department had actually recovered the vehicle. It had been found abandoned in an Orange County ditch at about 6:30 on Saturday morning. Anyone who has any information on this case is asked to call the Jasper State Police Post at 482-1441 or 1-800-742-7475. We now return to recent announcements by Jasper-based Kimball International. Kimball Office announced the promotion of 2 people to its sales leadership team. Joe Roberts will now be the Director of Sales for the East Region at Kimball Office. Stan Winholt is set to replace Roberts as the Midwest Region Manager. Both men assumed their new roles this last Wednesday. Roberts began his career with Kimball back in 1983. He has leadership experience that's focused in business development, sales, marketing, distribution, and people and customer development. Meanwhile, Windholt will lead a Midwestern region that includes Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and West Virginia. Windholt started his Kimball career back in 1991 in an internal sales support role. He moved into a direct sales role for the company back in 2004. In a news release, Kimball Office General Manager Mike Wagner says the promotions reflect how well the company develops its own people. He says having the right mentality and people in place will play a key role in the future of the company. On a related note, Kimball International announced today that it has taken the next step towards its planned spinoff of its Electronic Manufacturing Services, or EMS, segment. The company says it has filed the initial Form 10 registration statement with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. The company originally announced the plan to spin off its EMS segment as an independent company back in January. The new company would be known as Kimball Electronics Incorporated, with headquarters in Jasper. The spinoff is expected to become effective sometime this fall. Finally this evening, Jasper's Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center has started a new award for its nurses. Nurses at the hospital are now being honored with the Daisy Award for Extraordinary Nurses. The award is part of the Daisy Foundation's program to recognize the superhuman efforts that nurses perform on a daily basis. Sarah Ball was announced as the first winner of the award. She was recognized for her compassionate and caring demeanor by her nominator, Abby Recker. Other nominees for the Daisy Award included Katie Pfaff, Laura Rediger, Billy Sickbert, and Michelle Weininger. Now, each quarter, a Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center nurse will be selected by a specially formed committee to receive the Daisy Award. At a presentation in front of the nurse's colleagues, physicians, patients, and visitors, the honoree will receive a certificate commending him or her for being an extraordinary nurse. For more information or to nominate a nurse, you can go online to mhhcc.org, and you can also contact Tammy Billings at 996-0154. All right, coming up after the break, Denny Spinner joins me for this week's edition of Monday with the Mayor, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Buchsel, and Inform with Vince Ackerman and Melissa Hafley. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.